Hey YouTube, it's Jamar from Vegas Sense. I'm really excited about this new video today. In this video, I'm comparing Fragrance World's Divin Asylum with Roja's Elysium Parfum pour Homme. So just before we get into the comparison, always want to ask, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Also like the video and leave a comment. Also, please share the video as well. And definitely make sure you watch at least 60% of the video. That definitely helps me a lot with the YouTube algorithm. So this is the video that I know a lot of you all have definitely been looking forward to. I definitely have as well. And this is to compare Divin Asylum by Fragrance World with Roja's Parfum pour Homme, Roja Elysium Parfum pour Homme. So many of the people that are familiar with Elysium, from what I know anyway, are more so familiar with the Parfum Cologne version of Elysium. That one is a lot more affordable. You know, it's definitely a lot more popular, I think, in the fragrance community. Whereas the Parfum pour Homme version, I really haven't seen too many people who actually own that fragrance. And, you know, for the most part, for the clones that I've seen of Elysium, typically they're cloning the Parfum Cologne version. All right. So there are definitely some differences between like the Parfum Cologne and the Parfum pour Homme version of Elysium. Definitely the Parfum Cologne version is a much lighter version of it. It has a lot more, I would say, of like that sparkly sort of nature about it. And it projects a lot louder than the Parfum pour Homme. From the few times that I've gotten a wearing out of this so far, the main thing that I notice is this maybe will project for about an hour and a half or so. And even when it does, it's not like a beast mode projection. I would say maybe like a little less than about an arm's length. So it does give you a nice little scent bubble, but it's not really anything that sort of pushes out, especially not the way that the original Elysium Parfum Cologne does. Now, this one, it definitely acts the same way. You know, you get some decent projection for about an hour and a half or so, and then it comes a lot closer in and becomes like more of an intimate sort of skin scent. The main differences though that I noticed with these two fragrances, and here, let me actually do this and just kind of refresh the opening of these two. So I do have the dry down on another part of my arms here. So just right from the beginning, the Elysium Parfum pour Homme is it's a little bit more sparkly. I would say it's just slightly more spicier, a little bit more crisp. And then with the Divin Asylum, this one to me, it seems to be a little bit more like sweeter. So like citrusier, sweeter, and definitely a lot more sort of muskier, in my opinion, than what Elysium is. Elysium, you do get some fruitiness from it. You know, you definitely, you pick up on those multiple different citruses that are in the top notes of Elysium. but it's more of like a balanced sort of approach with Elysium. So with Elysium, you're getting a balance of like the citruses, the spices, the florals, and then, like that vetiver note. And then with Divin Asylum, this one, you're getting more of an emphasis on, kind of like those sweet, sort of citrus notes. You do sort of, catch a little bit of spiciness with this one as well, but it's not as much as what you get with Elysium. Also, it's not as sort of sparkly as what Elysium is either. And I mean, again, I would also say that Elysium seems to be, I don't know, maybe a few percent, stronger than what Divin Asylum is. Now, here's the main thing that I really want to emphasize. Roja's Elysium Parfum pour Homme, for a 50 ml bottle, this goes for $4.85, right? Now, I've seen this on, I believe it was aurafragrance.com, which is like a wholesaler discounter site. I've seen this for $2.50 for 50 ml on that site. This one is definitely more, on the higher end when it comes to clones. This one was, I believe, $80 from the Oud store. However, this is a 100 ml bottle. Okay, 100 ml bottle for $80. So it's still cheaper than what 100 ml would cost you from somewhere like Alexandria Fragrances. I believe all of Alexandria's 100 ml bottles cost like $109, before any sort of discounts or taxes or shipping. So, it's still cheaper than that. And this definitely, so far anyway, this performs better than my bottle of Zion that I have. Now, as these start to dry down, they do start to get, a lot closer to each other. Again, the main thing that I want to say is the Elysium, throughout the entire duration of the fragrance, in my opinion, the Elysium, it stays true to being just a tad bit more sparkly or sparklier, a tad bit stronger, and it definitely is a little bit more spicier. And again, this one definitely is sweeter, a little bit more citrusier, and definitely, in my opinion, more muskier. So really, it kind of depends on what parts of Elysium you particularly like. I have, heard some people that have, actually told me that they didn't really like the spiciness of Elysium. For some people, it's a little bit too much. For me, I don't really classify Elysium as like a spicy sort of scent, so I don't really mind it. I do think that, this is slightly a better scent in terms of the way it smells. But I mean, if I were to, give it a rating, I would say this would be like 9.5, and this would be like a 9. So it's not any sort of significant difference between these two, and especially when you consider the price. So pretty much you would have to spend, retail anyway, you would have to spend close to $1,000 to get the same amount of juice that you get in this bottle, and this bottle is only $80. So you're paying, pretty much 10 times more, or over 10 times more for pretty much the same fragrance. Now, I'm not going to say they're exactly the same, but in my opinion, this one comes to at least about 95% when it comes to the Roja Elysium. They are definitely that close. The differences that I'm referring to, in terms of like this one being a little bit more fruitier and muskier, and this one being a little bit more spicier and sparkly, they're not anything significant. I think that if you were wearing this fragrance and, you walked into a room full of, fragrance aficionados, and they were all familiar with, how Roja Elysium Parfum Pour Homme smells, I don't really think that they would be able to know that you were wearing a clone of that fragrance. The difference in terms of this one being a little bit more fruitier and muskier could honestly, to most people's noses, be just a difference of body chemistry in terms of, the way that this fragrance might be coming off of someone's skin. So that's the main thing that I get. And I mean, these differences are differences that, you really have to kind of dig in super close to find. Now, in terms of like the overall longevity on these, the longevity on the Divin Asylum is slightly less than what you get with the Elysium Parfum Pour Homme. At least on my skin, I get about 7.5 hours or so on skin with the Roja Elysium Parfum Pour Homme, and I get probably about 6.5 hours with the Divin Asylum. So, again, neither one of these are really beast mode performing fragrances. And I mean, also the thing to consider is the Divin Asylum is actually an eau de parfum, whereas this one is an actual parfum. So the fact that this one, it's able to last almost as long as the Roja, that one definitely, especially for the amount of juice that you get with this. I mean, I think this is, even at $80, this is a really, really good deal, because the quality of this is definitely top notch. And I don't really sense too many differences really between this and the actual Roja Elysium. When you first spray these on, like within the first few seconds, you can sense just a small amount of alcohol in this. It's not anything that's like off-putting or anything like that. And like I said, it's literally for like maybe the first 3 or 4 seconds. And then, I mean, the alcohol dissipates pretty much right away. For most people, especially for me, I don't go directly into my fragrances and smell them up close when I spray them on. I don't really even go to smell them at all. I just spray the fragrance on and walk around and go about my day. So, like I said, that alcohol is something that you have to really, really get up close to smell with this one. So yeah, man, the differences between these two, in my opinion, are super minimal. They really are, especially considering the price difference of these particular fragrances. So again, while this one is definitely on the higher end when it comes to clones, I think the thing that you really have to consider is you're getting really, really great, presentation with this particular bottle. You are getting 100 mLs of this fragrance, and it does perform pretty comparable to how Roja Elysium does. All right. So this one, I would say you're not really missing any sort of experience that you could get from this, from this particular fragrance. All right. So let me know, have you smelled both of these fragrances? Do you agree with my assessment of these fragrances? And also, if you're looking to purchase this particular fragrance, I'll leave a link below. Right now, the only place that I know that you can find this fragrance is the Oud store. All right. So let me know what you all think. Again, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. Also share this video. That's Jamar from Vegas Sense. I'll see you on the next video.